And number 9 is and white math. This entire concept of tying reparations to ancestry is based on a white supremacist construct used to demonize welfare queens, social programs, and the MAGA form of racism known as economic anxiety. According to the zero-sum philosophy, if everyone gets a piece of the American pie, there will be less for everyone. Unfortunately, that's not how math.
Stop. Full stop. Stop. Run it back down too, so I can reread it. I know you're going as we. Okay. So the entire concept of reparations based on ancestry is a white supremacist construct. So paying the people that you actually harmed is white supremacist versus just giving money to all people of color. And again, don't play these stupid games about if we're Black people who feel this way, we're acting like white supremacists who feel like if we get something, we're taking away from somebody else. Listen, reparations is a debt that is owed. Now, if y'all want to get this MMT thing popping and open up the coffers and everybody get money, like, you know, Oprah, you get a car, you get some free education, you get your student loans paid, you get this, you get that. That's fine by me, but that's not coming out my reparations. Reparations is a debt that is owed. So for you to be like, we should just give it to everybody who's Black. So that means if you got here 5 minutes ago, you get a check. So are we gonna be like New York? All you gotta do is be in America 30 days and be Black and you get reparations? I don't think so.
Yeah, like this whole, like the entire concept of tying reparations to ancestry is based on a white supremacist construct. Again, kind of, but not really. Because like the entire concept of inheritance is based on that same exact white supremacist concept. And I don't hear anybody saying, no, you don't deserve any inheritance. The whole idea of reparations is tied to this debt that we've inherited.
Yes.
Reparations was stolen from us. We already had it. The United States government stole reparations from Black Americans. There's not another Black group of people that can come in here and say that.
Exactly, because no Africans, Ghanaians, whatever were promised 40 acres and a mule. That was to the formerly enslaved freedmen. Y'all aren't freedmen because y'all wasn't slaves here.
Yeah, but this is exactly how math works. If they cut a deal for 20 trillion, 40 trillion, and they split that up between Black Americans who descend from American chattel slavery, it's going to come out to a certain number versus if you give it to all Black people, the number that breaks down for everybody is going to be smaller because there's going to be more people getting a piece of that pie. It's not like they're saying, like, they're not going to write us a blank check for reparations. They're going to have a limit on it. So yeah, that's exactly how the fuck it works. Now, if we're just talking about what the American government can do as far as like creating money, that's a different conversation. But when it comes to like government programs, they don't just write blank checks. Like, it's like they like allocate a certain amount and then we're going to be getting a piece of that amount. So I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about.
I just wanted to say that reparations is not your piece of the American pie.
Facts.
You are not welcome. This is Negro pie over here.
Yes, that's a good one.
There's some Negro pie.
It's a Negro American pie. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because we made the pie anyway. We put the ingredients in the pie and everything. We are the bakers. That's how I feel about that.
So I want to read this next little spot and then I'll let you take it back over, Joey, because I see something that Steve Grumbine will be pulling out his hair. And when I get to it, I'm going to go in. So when wealth is distributed evenly, it generates more wealth and less poverty. This economic concept has been so widely accepted that we don't argue about it anymore. We are willing to use taxpayer money to subsidize white farmers, billionaires, and wealthy corporations. Wrong answer. Your taxpayer money doesn't fund or pay for any of that shit. The government prints its own currency. they can not print, but they can issue as much of that currency as they want. All they have to do is adjust for inflation and make sure that there are actual real tangible resources that they are using. This can all be done through MMT, but for him to be like, we're using taxpayer money, that means you don't even understand how money really works in the government. So like, you shouldn't even be talking about reparations because you don't understand basic economics.
Explain to us what MMT is.
So MMT is largely just macroeconomics. It's macroeconomics minus all the, tales from the fire pit, tales from the bar stool, and all the stuff that people swear they know but they don't know. It's minus all the lies that we've ginned up in our head, and it's very boring. Ironically, MMT is probably the most boring subject on the face of the earth right now. But it's exciting because so much of what we think we know, it turns out to be fake knowledge, and MMT really cuts through that. And so what MMT does is it shows us how federal finance works, really in any place that has a sovereign, free-floating fiat currency like the United States does. But in particular, it looks at the United States from 1972 to present, when we were removed from the gold standard, the Bretton Woods Accord, by Richard Nixon. Ever since then, something changed fundamentally. You've seen everything go the wrong direction. You've watched the rich get richer. You've watched the poor get poorer. You've watched us more involved in wars than we've ever been in our nation's history. You've watched a lot of things that you would like to believe wouldn't be things that our country does happening right here in front of our faces. And we're always left with that feeling that, well, the country's broke, we can't do nice things. But you never, ever, as you stated in the beginning, you never see the country flinch when we talk about funding war. You never see the country flinch about adding money to the defense budget, regardless of whether there's war or not. Basically, anytime there is a way to give money to the rich, there's more than enough money there, whether it be for tax cuts, you name it. And we've been led to believe that there's not enough money to do great things for we the people. And MMT shows us in spades that that's completely false. That we can do anything, we can afford anything, that we can resource. If we have the people, if we have the actual goods and services, our nation can fund anything that's available for purchase in US dollars because it creates the currency from thin air. And by creating that money from thin air and the laws that go with it from thin air, US government is the monopoly issuer of the currency. Even when it gives charters out to banks, it alone is the currency issuer, is the monopolist. And so once you understand currency issuer versus currency user, you fundamentally understand more about economics than most economists know. Just the simple fact of where does a dollar start and how does a dollar end? We say the birth of a dollar is congressional spending, and we say the death of a dollar is when it comes back home as a tax, because taxes functionally delete currency from the system. So MMT shows us basically that money is the least important thing we have to worry about when it comes to our federal government, because our federal government creates money out of thin air. That's how it spends. That's how it finances itself. So really what we have to focus on is not the money. The money is a joke. It's a way of keeping us down by trying to talk about the money. The real story is, do we have the real resources available for purchase for that money that we would put into the economy? And ultimately, the real constraint is not whether or not we have the money. We can always create the money. The issue is there inflation? Do we have full employment? And are the real resources available for purchase?
Yeah, his ideas are basically to set up a reparations program that would not be able to work. If we're going to tie it to taxpayer dollars, there's no way it's going to actually be done.
Yeah, because there's not enough taxpayer money. So by reasoning, that money will have a positive economic impact. We provide Social Security, small business loan, and stimulus checks for the same reason, because it stimulates the economy. Apparently, Black people are the only segment of our society of which stimulus does not work because, we'll use it to buy Cadillac steaks and snow crabs. But the thing about it is, stop saying it's taxpayer money because it's not. Like, I don't have an argument. Your argument is that we should give checks to all Black people because we can afford to. Well, no, not for reparations. Y'all need to start fighting for them to do stuff for Americans and stop trying to fix America off our reparations. That's not what it's for.
Exactly. I was about to say that. I didn't realize our reparations is supposed to be some economic stimulus for, I guess, Black people in general. Like it's supposed to be a repair for certain harms. So again, this is not about creating less poverty for Black people in America. This is not about some type of economic stimulus for all of America. This is about paying the debt to a certain group of people who have been harmed over and over again, and the can is just continuously kicked down the road as far as trying to resolve our issue.
And my thing is, so what if we buy Cadillacs and snow crabs? Mind your business. This is my money. Like,
white people buy trips to Europe.
yes,
and
they buy yachts that they don't need.
They they buy expensive clothes for their dogs. They do all kinds of stuff. Like, leave me alone. Don't worry about how I spend my money.
Yes.
Stop pocket watching.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I watched that Pam and Tommy Lee movie, or the show that they did on Hulu. Like, Tommy put like multi-million dollars into like having like a freak room in his house. You know what I mean? Like, miss me on what we spend our money on.
And there's a whole show on Netflix that's #1 in America called Selling Sunset, when white people buy multiple homes in California. Meanwhile, the homelessness rate in California is like out the wazoo, and yet these people out here, being white women and white men, spending millions of dollars on homes that they don't need. Like, come on. Continue.
I can't pay my doctor bill, but Whitey's on the moon.
Right. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. This whole snow crabs, Cadillac stuff. Like, there's no air in space, and yet we've spent billions on space travel.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, like, our priorities are all kinds of messed up, and Black people don't have any unique problems that a couple million won't solve.
Right.
I just hate that shit because Dr. Darity has shown us that there's no evidence that we're just blowing our money like this. It's just some shit that white supremacists have come up in their mind, that we're just dumb motherfuckers that don't know how to handle money, and that's why we're in our economic situation. So people keep repeating this bullshit to us when there is no proof of this. Like, we actually manage our money better than white people if you look at the studies on this shit. So it's just infuriating to me.
Very much so. All right. You can go back to reading. I just, go ahead.
I got you. So giving reparations to more people who are affected by racial inequality is the surest way to repair the wealth gap. It's right there in the word.
Stop. So you basically mean now we should start. So this means we should start talking about the Latinos, and we need to start talking about the Vietnamese and the Cambodians and all the other poor people of color, because this is what he's talking about. He's opening the door. This is affirmative action. Affirmative action was for us, and then you kick open the door, and before you know it, it's for white people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was
and
about
gay
to
white
say.
men.
I was about to say, this is like one step away from we should pay reparations to poor white people, because all he needs to do is take racial out of that sentence, and it becomes the same leftist nonsense we're hearing as far as reparations needs to be for everybody.
He's saying it without saying it.
He's opening up the door for sure. About the surest way to repair the wealth gap is giving reparations to more people. First of all, reparations can't go to more people. Reparations can only go to the people that were denied our reparations back in the 1800s. So
Yeah.
giving them more people is only disrespecting us.
Yes.
How about we
No,
give you more extension?
Michael Harriot should give us all a piece of his paycheck every month because he's rooting for everybody who's Black.
I have a question. Who's paying them anyway? If there's somebody
Good
important who
old
owns
Byron Allen. Byron Allen, you sponsored this shit, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I've been trying to hold you down, Byron. I thought you were, changing your ways and you became more pro-Black as you due to the
No,
experiences you faced.
he tried to use us. He used
Yeah.
us. He used Black folks.
He did. And we kind of used him back because we saw that his shit was some high profile situation dealing with race. But ultimately, like, this is betrayal right here. I don't like, after this motherfucking shit dropped, even if you didn't know personally, Byron Allen, that this shit was going down, because I doubt that you're like involved in every decision that's made with your businesses. But
you could have pulled this bullshit.
Yeah, as soon as this shit came out, you should have made a phone call and told this motherfucker to pull this article, because this is some bullshit right here.
I've never seen any Jewish outlet argue about why Jewish people don't deserve reparations. Mr. Allen, you dropped the ball on this one. It's your responsibility to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen, and it certainly doesn't come out of your outlets. This is on you. And we've been waiting and watching to see what you were going to do with all those billions you got, Mr. Weather Channel.
And he did nothing. Nothing for us anyways.
Agreed.
Nothing. You better get your people together.
I agree.
Because your slip is hanging a whole lot. You do not want Black people to start looking into you, sir.
Oh, it will get ugly.
We all want to support you. We see you winning. You in that early Obama era right now.
Nah, I think we should just accept that Byron Allen is our class enemy, and we should go from there.
Works for me. I never trusted him. You got that much money into this kind of system, it's because you a little bit too affable. So yeah, you got a whole lot to prove, Mr. Byron Allen. I'm gonna need you to come out and make a statement, because like I said, if Black people start to get curious about like what's going on in your life and where you've been after you came out super pro-Black for a couple months, it's gonna get real ugly for you. Ain't nobody gonna be watching the Weather Channel no more. But where did I leave off at?
More people.
More people getting their share of pie doesn't necessarily mean smaller slices for everyone. This is only true if we accept that there is only one pie that's already been prepared. Interesting. Otherwise, you'd probably need some intelligent people to figure out how many people need pie and request ingredients to give everyone an adequate slice.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no.
I agree. But if only there was some kind of task force that could work this out. Not sure how the this pie analogy here is supposed to work. Like, if you start off with whole pie and start giving out slices, that necessarily means smaller slices for everyone.
No, he's saying that we should request enough pie to feed everybody, even people who shouldn't be getting our pie. People that don't deserve our American Negro pie.
He's saying something much more interesting. He's saying this is only true if we accept that there's only one pie. But if there's more than one pie, why do all these people want our pie?
Exactly. That's why it doesn't make sense what he just said, though. Like,
and ain't nobody trying to give us a slice of their pie. I don't see that shit happening. Exactly. When that shit starts happening, then maybe you can start talking this type of shit. But everybody eats their pie. They don't even allow us to get crumbs. They eat the shit in front of us, watching us starve.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as soon as we start talking about, hey, a pie needs to be baked for us, then everybody wants to fucking have their hand out.
Yeah, that's so
Yep,
frustrating. What it's giving to me is that America deliberately picks immigrants to come here to eat in front of us. She is very abusive to us. Like, she's not giving us what she owe us. She's not feeding us, and yet she let other people in, give them a specific pie, let them eat in front of us, and then make us fight them to get our pie for us. Like, why are you making me fight folk that just got here? You already fed them. No. I can't. Anyway, continue on.
Listening to Reset Race, you now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put it back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to US Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black. We pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. To win, you need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
Join us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Reset Race Network.
I just wanted to say that reparations is not your piece of the American pie.
Facts.
You are not welcome. This is Negro pie over here.
All we want is some coffee and a couple of slices of pie. Is that all right?
No, these are whites-only pies.
But do you have any Negro pies?
Hey, Claude, come on now. This woman ain't got